would you do if you were diagnosed with a mental illness only for your friend to be literally copycatting each bit of it? Or if they're choosing to self-diagnose themselves without getting help with a plethora of diagnoses? You even say that you're writing a book about your experience with your diagnoses, and they say, oh my gosh, I've been writing one too, but for longer. For our story number 2, we're going to be hearing from someone who is fed up with the glamorization of mental illness. From we love a mentally ill king to people specifically wanting to date people with mental illness, this person is mad. We will be talking about the psychology of both of these stories, so make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and let's get into the video. I have a classmate, for the sake of this post, I'll call R. R constantly fakes things and takes things too far. R claims to have autism, depression, anxiety, and here's the kicker, asthma, chronic joint pain, and hip problems at 13. Because I'm LGBT and autistic, I have depression and anxiety, they immediately latched onto me. The thing is, when they claim to have autism, they copycat what I do, just more dramatic and adding other things. For example, if I'm overwhelmed sensory-wise, they're overwhelmed sensory-wise and are going through an anxiety attack, all while sitting next to me, while I'm trying to cope so I can get back to class. Perfectly calm, chatting away. I make a joke about being trans, they talk for an hour about being trans and how society oppressed them. Here's the kicker, I'm writing a book, and they claim to be writing a book about a 12-year-old with DID. I told them that's not how DID works, and they said they've been writing this book for 6 years and have been researching it for 5. They've been writing and researching a book since they were 7 to 8 years old. Sure, they're constantly saying they have back pain and complaining, often saying they can't bend down to get something and make me get it, etc. I remember one time they said they wear corsets often because it's good for their back. And this was the first time I'd seen them wear a corset. I told them that it's bad for their back, and they went on for like 10 minutes about how it actually is good for their back. They constantly talk about depression, and I've never heard them talk about something not related to being LGBTQ+ or disabled/autistic or mentally ill. Today I just started high school, and I thought they're very successful and hard to live up to brother, gone off to college, they wouldn't be doing this show anymore. They are. I can't take it anymore. I don't have the capacity to constantly have to basically tend to this person and have them follow me around all the time. I know they struggle mentally. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually do have autism, but that's no excuse to do what they do. And I can't keep pretending to be their friend. It goes against what I stand for to pretend to be friends with them. I don't know what to do at this point. This was kind of a rant, I know, and this is supposed to be a Mimi subreddit, but I need to get this off my chest. When we were little kids, I don't know if anyone else did this, but you kind of subconsciously might want attention, and through that you might mock other people's actions. In fact, I literally grew up copying every single thing my sister did, from her fashion choices to the music she listened to. But when you get older and continue to do this, you can do this for various psychological reasons. They could have a need for validation or for social acceptance. I mean, the person we're talking about today is 13 years old, although I will say that, claiming to have a diagnosis is different than just mirroring someone else for fun for a few minutes. I haven't personally heard of someone being diagnosed with DID at the age of 14, but I'm obviously not a professional. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I don't know R, but if they are fabricating or exaggerating parts of their disorder, this could be a manifestation of a factitious disorder. But obviously not diagnosing. There are 2 sides to every story, and unfortunately doing these videos, we only get one. Just because this person is showing symptoms of a factitious disorder does not mean they have it, especially, what are they, 13, 14 years old? And when you're 13 or 14 years old, you are trying to understand yourself and get a sense of your identity. This can manifest as adopting traits from people who you admire or look up to. If we are to assume that they are faking it, this could be a coping mechanism. They want support from someone, and I think in this situation it might be from you, OP. Sometimes when people are passive aggressive, you might think you're so sly, but honestly on the outside it seems so obvious, especially when your brain is still developing. Someone on Reddit said, I had a former roommate like this. Avoid, avoid, avoid. If possible, explain to your teachers that you don't want to hurt their feelings, but they're they're distracting you from doing your work / overwhelming you, and ask to be seated away from them in class. A strategy that was effective with my roommate was telling him to go to the doctor whenever he brought up his quote-unquote disability, then shutting down the conversation or changing the subject. Offer no attention. If they realize they won't get sympathy or are able to talk to you about it, they may drift away. If you become quote-unquote boring to them, then they'll leave you alone. As much as it sucks, don't talk about your autism around them, and don't engage when they talk about anything of theirs. Boring small talk is all they get. If it won't cause social drama for you and they keep persisting, it's not mean to gently but firmly tell someone, quote, "I'm sorry, but I do not think we're a good match as friends," unquote. You don't need to explain, and definitely don't start listing faults / insulting if you don't want a bullying charge brought to your school. So to OP, I would definitely say to set boundaries with R. Is this a healthy relationship for you? Maybe even encouraging R, say like, hey, maybe, you can seek help from a school counselor or a mental health professional. And also, while I can't imagine how frustrating it must be for someone to be mirroring everything about your life, I would say to approach the situation with empathy. Because, I don't know, a lot of the time people won't just fake things or fabricate things for no reason. There's often underlying reasons. I bring this up because I had a video on my For You page come up about this guy sharing that he was an alcoholic and had depressive episodes. That's fine, right? Just talking about what he experiences. Well, he was telling a short story about a girl saying, "We love a mentally ill king," after he opened up to her about it, and just honestly makes my blood boil. I hear a song every day at work about like, "I'm broken and it's beautiful." No, it is not. By all means, share how you feel to a therapist or someone you trust so that you can get proper help. But disorders aren't fun. They aren't cool. They aren't pretty. They suck. And I hate it when people say things like that, or like, "I want to date a mentally ill person." Then whenever they have to actually deal with the person's mental illness as well, that person is suddenly toxic and gross. Especially BPD and depression. BPD is so demonized, it's insane to me. And depression is so looked down on because everyone just thinks, "Oh, you're sad today, sad face emoji." Like, that's not all. People with depressive episodes sometimes can literally not get out of bed for almost anything. Like, how the hell do you go, "Let me get a piece of that side-eye emoji smiling," and switch up so fast? Quote, "Ew, you haven't cleaned your room in 6 months? You aren't depressed, you're just a pig," unquote. It's so infuriating. And all this I've seen in this sub the last few days about, quote, "It's their disorder, so let them display it how they want," unquote, is so stupid. This isn't, quote, "insert username disorder," unquote. It's autism, a disorder that is not specific to only one person. If people openly infantilize or romanticize a disorder, people will start thinking that presentation is the disorder as a whole, or that is how they should treat people with the same disorder. By all means, present your disorders however you want, while you are alone, not on a massive public platform for millions of possibly uneducated people to see and misinterpret. Please, people, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I wish this was all just common sense. Edit, about the song, it's just my opinion and how I interpreted it. If you like the song, that's cool, but I don't and won't for multiple reasons. I don't see it as uplifting or anything along those lines because it doesn't seem clear to me that she means that even though she has a disorder, she's still beautiful. So yeah, I know from other people's comments that the song is probably just about being confident or something, but that still doesn't change my opinion on it. There's a difference between embracing yourself and who you are and glamorizing your mental illness. I do agree with most of what OP said. I'd love to hear what you guys think, but trivializing mental illness that can be debilitating to your everyday life it's very disrespectful. This trend can lead to misunderstandings about living with bipolar disorder, depression, BPD, all disorders, literally. But I would agree with the statement that if you are hashtagging your videos with your mental illness, to be sensitive about the topic. And remember, when you see it online or when you're posting this, that each person experiences a mental illness, even if it's the same one, differently. I don't know if this person is getting into the new Billie Eilish album. I haven't listened to the whole thing yet. Do you all think that musical artists should be more wary when writing lyrics about mental illness? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you have nothing else to say about this video, let me know what is your favorite band at the moment. It's obviously, as always, completely unrelated to the video. Mine at the moment is is probably Glass Animals. I used to listen to Heat Waves over and over again, and I discovered that I actually like a multitude of their songs. What a surprise. So yeah, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, turn the bell on if you're feeling risky, please. And also thank you so much to each and every one of my members for supporting my efforts on this channel. I appreciate it so much. To everyone, I hope you have a good day, night, whatever the case may be, and peace out.